Hey everybody, Ash here from Quantified Performance. What I'm going to be talking about today is a good friend of mine, the barrel. Uh, Barrels are used as a lot of matches, some all over the place. They're easy props to use. They're lightweight, fairly cheap in price. You can do a lot with them. What I want to do is have a little video here for you guys that the first time that you see a barrel isn't at the match. Okay, so just going to talk about some things that I learned on barrels, and I had to learn them the hard way. So I got the barrel in the laid down position. You'll either see them laid down or standing up. Usually you won't see anything any more weird than that, but it's been known to happen. So when it's laying down, you see I get a lot of the rifle on the barrel, but the barrel is very slick. They're hard plastic, designed to hold stuff for a long time. So you can see that the rifle is just sliding around on here. So if you're one of the bipod people that load bipods, or either the positive load or negative load, anything on the bipod, you're not going to be able to get that on the rifle. So you're going to get a lot of sliding back and forth under recoil. Obviously, if you're running a large frame gun, you're going to get more. Small frame, it is what it is. So you're going to need to make sure your position takes up all of that you're normally getting from your barricade, that sort of recoil management type stuff, stability. So what I like to do with the barrels, if it's laying down, I try to get up on it as much as possible. So what I'll do is I'll come up here and I'm down on both knees. If I was shooting here, basically what I do is I come and I put my chest up on the barrel and I get elbows down on the barrel and I basically get on there as much as I possibly could. Okay, so you see I got the rear bag and I just kind of stuffed it up in here. What I'm doing is I'm using my body to steer the barrel, because if you don't, the barrel's usually not tied down. If it is, it's just tied down to where it won't blow away, but it's still loose. So if I'm not on there, like if I'm trying to shoot from here, you're going to have a really hard time with the barrel. Gun's going to be sliding everywhere. It's going to be trying to fall off to the sides. It's going to be all sorts of things. So if you can get up on that barrel, get up on it, stuff that space up in the rear bag, get in there, do shots. Okay. So under recoil, it's going to slide back and forth a little bit. If you get up on top of it best you can, generally it will stay on the barrel. But if you're having to shoot off to the right of it for whatever reason, level out the gun and I'm having to shoot off it, is going to roll down. So I might have to change my position, knowing that rifle is going to move over. So don't be afraid if you're in it here. Like I can hold good elevation on it here. If the rifle happens to start doing that, don't be afraid to come up in here and get a hold of it for your next shots. Okay, react to what the barrel's doing. Don't just try to force it with that back part. Get up on here. If you can hold it by the magazine well, whatever you need to do, just get up in there and control the rifle. But if you're up on top, generally it's not too bad. It just kind of goes back and forth. If I'm back here, what's going to happen under recoil is it's going to slide around a lot. Now, if for some reason I can't get up on it, fill that space with the bag. Okay, I got my rear bag here. I've also got one of the larger fat bags from Armageddon Gear. All these bags are from Armageddon Gear. But say I can't get on that as far up on that barrel as there. What I do is take this bag, fill that space that's there. Okay, and I might not be able to put a rear bag underneath here. So you notice I got the bag underneath the grip, and I'm just kind of coming in here. I could come in here. I could come in here down low. One of the benefits of this TLC grip is you can get a little bit of thumb on that grip when you're using it as a rear bag. So basically I'm able to control the gun really well there, and be able to steer it, have good control of it. And I'm putting a lot of pressure on that throughout that bag. If I didn't have the bag, I'd be back here, and the position already feels a whole lot weaker just by not having contact with that barrel. I am down on both knees. Some people like to do, they can come up in here and you can fill a little bit of that space up. And even though this feels a little bit more comfortable, it doesn't feel as stable. Okay, but the key is to get as stable as you can while you're doing that on that barricade. So that's just some things when it's laying down. I'm going to stand the barrel up and talk about some changes that I'm going to do if I'm shooting off the top of the barrel. All right, so now I've got my barrel up, and you notice how you think you're going to be able to jam that bipod up into the corner of the barrel, and you think this is going to be a pretty solid position. What you'll notice though is when I come in here, is I can't get anywhere near on that barrel the same way that I was getting on it when it was in the laying down position. I'm kind of in a high squat here. If I go down on both knees, I'm way too low. And I've seen guys try to fight through this, and basically I'm really uncomfortable trying to get on the gun. Okay. Uh, for both of these, if this is my stage, what I'm able to do is I can take my bipod, and you notice I got a pick rail back here. I take my bipod and bring it back. One of the reasons for that, well, we'll go into that in a second. But, so if I'm here and I'm trying to fight this on this barricade here, or on this barrel here, if I'm leaning into it or trying to do anything, you see how much rock I get in there. So I can take my rear bag and I can fill it up, but I'm barely hanging on this thing, right? So and sometimes you got to do that really high there. So I'm just in a really uncomfortable position. You notice how this arm is just hanging, okay? So if I was planning right, I could take this Armageddon gear bag and stuff it up in here. And notice how when I get down into that squat again, now I'm getting a whole lot more traction off that bag. Now this isn't comfortable, it isn't fun, but that's just some of the things we can do. Now what I can do is I take my bipod and I can bring it back here. Okay? Maybe. There you go. So if I bring it back here, you'll see how much farther that allows me to get up on this barrel. Okay? So I can come in here, instead of using the rear bag on the back, obviously, I can use it underneath the grip like I did before, and I can get much more on that barrel. So I can actually get a little bit of control of my elbows just like I did when it was laying down, and I can get up on this barrel pretty good. Now I can have the bipod back. Basically it depends on the stage, whether you're shooting low or high first. If I was shooting high first, I'd probably set it up like this, and then when I go low, just have to deal with a little bit bipod a little bit back. Okay? All depends on the stage. You just got to do that stage plan. Now you notice I'm putting the rear bag under the pistol grip. I still got my bag, so if I had this and it was strapped on or whatever, so basically I can bring this bag in here, I can come up in here, get it stuffed in, get it here. It's not really helping me a lot right there. I'm spending more time on the bag than I would not be. But if I had it strapped in pretty good, then I'd be able to get on it pretty good. So I got it welded in there good now, and I'm getting a lot of pressure on that, and I can do a good trigger press if I need to, and pretty solid. So just some things to consider setting up with your rifle, and getting things to match that stage. So a couple things to think about. Just want to do a little bit of video on it, and thanks to Armageddon Gear for supporting the matches. I got on my Sergeant of Arms t-shirt. Did that Cowtown Clash a couple years ago. It was a good time. Sergeant of Arms is a sponsor. Got some Steiner stuff here. Hope everybody's having a good weekend and stay healthy.